Hey, today's episode, I wanted to help you to grow your YouTube channel and your online business by letting go of some bad habits that you've probably picked up from social media, Instagram, TikTok, and all the other kind of offenders. I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I'm really happy that I have grown my business with YouTube. It is solely through YouTube that I hit my first six figures by year 2 of my business, selling a $27 ebook, by the way, that people loved. It was a good ebook. People loved it, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if it weren't for YouTube. And I also wouldn't have been able to enjoy the last 15 years of having very good success in multiple products and multiple niches and multiple kind of business models if it weren't for YouTube. So a lot of people are waking up to the fact they don't want to be on Instagram chasing the little hearts. People aren't buying your stuff. You know, you're not getting all that much sales. Your content's not lasting all that long. You don't want to be posting. You don't want to be on the platform just in general. And then they're coming to YouTube, which is awesome. I love when I see business owners getting onto YouTube. But this happened recently where a colleague, I kind of heard about her program through the Zeitgeist. She helps people with their tax stuff. And I'm like, ooh, I wonder if she has a YouTube channel. And she recently started a YouTube channel, but she's been doing Instagram for so many years that she doesn't have the muscles that I'm going to teach you today. And she also is holding on to some bad habits that even after a year and a half of her trying to grow it, it's not really getting much traction. And here's why. Concept number 1 is motivation. Now, I want us to think about motivation in terms of cinema and theater. Motivation in theater and in movies is when the director goes up to an actor or an actress and says something like this. Okay, John, I want you to look at Linda as though she just came in here. You found out she was cheating. You smell a man's cologne on her and don't say any words, just act and go. Okay. That's motivation. That person's going to act in a totally different way than if they were directed to say something like, okay, John, Linda's going to come in and Linda smells like flowers. And you just found out that she turned down one of the most handsome men in the world because she loves you so much. Don't say any words, just act and go. 2 totally different motivations. You could give them the same lines and they would be acting in a totally different way. Now we have millions of business owners getting onto Instagram and TikTok, and they have been for the past decade or so. And the motivation behind the content on Instagram is look at me. That's the motivation. And even if you're listening to this and that's not your forward thinking thought, that is and can only be ever really the motivation, as in the energetic stance, as in how you show up on those platforms. It's only ever a look at me energy. That's what the vibration is. That's what the energetic stance is. That's kind of the concepts. That's the premise. The whole thing is one big giant party of look at me. I think you'll be set free once you understand what I'm saying here, because this is life-changing stuff. This is really major. It's getting down into the deep, deep underbelly of all of this stuff. And it's going to help you to really anchor your business into something more solid. Okay. Now, the motivation when you come onto YouTube, I want you to think about the videos that you've watched over the past couple weeks, the ones that you've really loved. When you come onto YouTube, the motivation behind a video that you love could be education. The creator might be trying to educate you, help you to build a skill, cooking, gardening, acting, drawing, whatever. You could be getting current events. You could be getting spiritual teachings, practices, meditations. You could be getting a whole wormhole of all kinds of motivations. So people who create on YouTube that make good content that you love and that I love and that we love, their motivation is, here it is. What does that person who's watching this video, what do they need to learn? What do they need? Even entertainment. Even the entertainment on YouTube is completely different from the entertainment on Instagram. It's not about look at me on YouTube ever. YouTube is this beautiful energetic exchange. I don't even like to call it content. Now, the problem that a lot of people do when they come onto YouTube is they bring that look at me vibration unintentionally. They don't even realize they're doing it. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. And we're going to peruse Instagram just for a couple seconds. Okay. So let me open my Instagram app. I was going to put on some kitchen gloves because I hate going on Instagram. I have a hazmat suit and everything, but I'm going to keep it over there. And I'm just going to go in without any protection. Okay, the very first one I land on is, girls, be honest, what's wrong with my content? I've been doing it for almost 2 years and still don't have even 2K. Perfect example. I mean, this is a perfect example. What is this except for look at me? What is this except for look at me? Okay, now we're going to rapid fire through the Instagram feed, and I want you to assess, is this look at me? Or is this in service of any of the things that we talked about on YouTube?
So update part 2, I refused to train my replacement. And here's what happened next. And it is exactly what I expected. 2 days later.
That's look at me. It's here's a story time. Look at me. This person bought a house in Italy and a car in Italy, farmhouse in Italy to live mortgage free, actually works. This is look at me. Becoming the first U.S. figure skating champion since 2002. This is look at me. So anyway, we're not going to spend too much more time on, the Instagram feed, but I want you to just scroll on Instagram for yourself. And I want you to start looking with your eyes as a creator in this world. And I want you to notice that most of it is look at me stuff. And people love look at me stuff. Obviously, they love it because otherwise people wouldn't be watching it, right? People would not be watching Instagram if they didn't want to look at you. But if you create a dynamic where you're creating 30-second to 3-minute reels that are basically for the sake of having people look at you, they're not your customer. They're people looking at you. You're getting gawkers. Okay? Please shift all the way out of being held captive. A lot of people have been held captive in the look at me kind of paradigm where we don't even realize we're in this. So one last time, people take that motivation of look at me because it's been normalized, AKA chasing views and trying to stop the scroll and trying to be highlight or yellow and trying to be as loud as possible and trying to look as beautiful as possible. Nothing wrong with, any of that stuff if you want to do that. But shock value, story time, just trying to get a bunch of attention instead of turning the light of your consciousness out there, which is really what YouTube is all about. So when you shift out of Instagram land and you start to make YouTube videos, your profits increase by default because you're no longer going like this, which is energetically not going to get anybody to see you as a kind of person they want to give money to. Do you know? Because you're not shining the light on them. We've created this weird dynamic on these short form platforms where we're tap dancing for people and you're expected to show up and they give you those little hearts and you're feeding the meta machine. And the creative process, meanwhile, has been degraded and bastardized into some weird tap dancing, trend chasing bag of Doritos. Just we're all sprinkling ourselves with Dorito dust. Just a quick rapid fire on this first kind of concept is we're always creating with the motivation of, if I put my director's hat on and I tell you the motivation from this point forward in your life's work, your motivation is, I want you to imagine there's somebody that really needs to hear something from you. They can only, for whatever reason, hear it from your voice. They need to hear your frameworks. They need to hear your ideas. They need to hear your experiences. They need to hear your solutions. And do you see how now that takes the whole thing off of trying to get the scroll stopped and stop people from scrolling so that you get their attention enough for the 30 seconds that you got them. Now you can actually spread out with a good message. Now you don't have to talk quickly. Now you don't have to come with that weird, there's just a weird delivery, a weird vibration that comes with people who are used to that look at me energy. So keep in mind, just before you turn the camera on, I want you to just think about the people who need to hear your message today. They're really needing it. The second concept that I wanted to offer here is skill building. Skill building. Okay. We want to focus on when we're posting to YouTube. This is something not a lot of people like to hear, but this is the God's honest truth. This is the best platform to grow an online business, in my opinion. And the reason for that is because it requires for us to be at a level that's much higher than than we would normally be if we were just posting short little, stories all the time. I'm never saying, by the way, that I'm a better business owner or a better anything than anybody who wants to focus on Instagram. I'm just saying, being on YouTube, I need to really focus my mind every single day on what message do I want to deliver? How do I want to help these people today? How do I want to help this listener? How do I want to show up? What are the concepts that would be really helpful? How can I promote my new XYZ and really serve my customer? These are questions that we have to really figure out when we're promoting on YouTube. So I'm talking about skills instead of on Instagram. A lot of it is sales focused, getting as much money as possible. And that's great. I'm here. This is the Deep Riches podcast with Brenda Turner. But if we make that our focus instead of the skills that are required to get that thing, this thing becomes like the banana, that idiom about the banana, that the monkey's holding on to this banana, it won't let it go and it gets stuck. A lot of business owners who are in the short form kind of game, they are holding on to this banana, aka the hope that one of these short little clips that they post on Instagram will hit them a jackpot one of these days. And they're not letting go of that idea of getting sales through the short form, like shortcuts. It's the ultimate dream. You post in a bunch of stuff on Instagram, you go like this with it, you post it, it took you 3 seconds to make it, and then you make $1 million a year. Well, that's not going to work like that. So if we let go of that and we step into building our skills, like really building some solid skills that make you I was going to say unfuckwithable, that make you untouchable. There's no competition when you have a unique way of speaking to your audience, when you have a unique kind of take on your expertise, when you have a unique way of delivering your solutions, when you understand how to serve your people in a way that only you can do it, when you really find your voice. Talk about an important part of this whole process. So we're no longer focused on that really shallow waters of getting the sale. Okay. So the skills that we really want to focus on are the skill of patience, diligence and discipline, copywriting, thumbnail design, premise, and thinking up a good concept for your videos. These are some skills that are not nourished in the Instagram game and the TikTok game. There's no thumbnails on any of these platforms. There's no thumbnails, there's no headlines, there's no premise, not really. It's just not doing much for sharpening your skills. And these skills translate to every other area of your business. So this is why it's kind of like a ninja level move to get on YouTube and to make YouTube your primary focus. So you're building the skill of public speaking when you get on YouTube. And you're going to have a better experience with your clients. You're going to have a better experience in your webinars. You're going to have a better experience on your sales calls if you're still doing sales calls, which I don't recommend, but that's a whole nother video. You're just going to be an overall better speaker. Okay. You're also going to get better at writing. Your headlines are such an important part of this process. So this means you're going to have email headlines are going to get better. And these email headlines are going to be opened by people. Okay. Your headlines on your landing page are going to get better. So on and so forth. Your thumbnail design. If you get better at your thumbnail design, it really helps you with your creative direction of what you do and don't like for your overall like brand, for the look and feel of your stuff, what does and does not work for you. These are the skills that we really want to be building up. The next concept I wanted to lay out for you is investing in every video. And I'm not talking monetarily, I'm talking with your patience and your time. So if you take the rest of this year to be diligent about every time that you have an idea for a video, you're going to take a little bit of time to really flesh out that idea, to get it properly planned out, to deliver it in front of a camera, to turn your iPhone horizontal for crying out loud, get out of the vertical and get it into horizontal. Get your audio quality decent, get a $70 Hollyland mic. And invest in the fact that this is the mindset shift. The fact that every time you post a video onto YouTube, the life of that YouTube video could be years and years to come. That one video that you post could be getting you thousands of dollars of sales every quarter. So every video that you put up is an investment. And I'm saying this because a lot of people who kind of come to the YouTube game, they think, wow, this is a lot of work. That's because they're not used to posting a video and having it get thousands of views every quarter and getting them sales every single day. So if you create this mindset shift that, yes, is YouTube a little bit more work? Yes. And I love it. And I love it because it's like you're digging a little moat around your castle that's impenetrable and nobody's going to be able to, copy you. They can certainly try, but they can't really do it because there's a lot going on in here and all around and the whole thing. So it's a little more work, and that's worth it because each one of these videos is an investment. The last concept that I wanted to kind of offer you is this is your life's work. This is a body of work. This is the creative process. And what's nearest and dearest to my heart in this lifetime is the creative process, teaching and learning. See, these three things have been paramount in my business success and in the business success of almost every mentor and entrepreneur that I know that's successful. So if we want to be creative and passionate about life, which is one and the same for me, and if we want to be an excellent teacher, regardless of what your business is, we come to YouTube in a way to teach and to transmit and to demonstrate your products and services. And if we want to be effective lifelong students, which is essential for any entrepreneur, we're not going to be able to do those things on Instagram. It's one big giant distraction mechanism. We're cogs in the meta machine, okay? But when you come to YouTube, there's no getting around the fact that when you invest in the YouTube game, when you say, okay, I'm going to promote my business on YouTube with a couple videos every month, and you're going to do that in perpetuity. I'm going to post a couple videos a month for a couple years. And as I do that, my business will continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. That mindset shift, that's just something that we have to get used to because what we've been trapped in is, like I just said, the meta machine, which has got us all on Instagram, millions of beautiful business owners wasting their time on Instagram, and they're neglecting, and I'm not saying that's you, but I'm saying every time that we waste time contributing these look at me videos into the meta machine is time that's distracting you from learning, creating, and teaching and doing your life's work. And when you start doing your life's work, by the way, I don't know if you realize this, I'm pretty sure you do, but there's no accidents here. So I believe that when you start actually doing your life's work the way that you've been built to do it, that you really are rewarded and that you really are taken care of. And this is getting into a little bit more of the woo stuff, but I don't want you to believe a word I say. I want you to run a little experiment. Okay. Take a couple weeks to just start posting onto YouTube and watch the magic unfold. Very, very few people have ever tried this experiment and came back to me without magical experiences. Okay. And by the way, I wanted to leave you with this. I have a 5-day YouTube breakthrough challenge. I only do this a couple times a year. It's March 2nd to March 6th. So if you're catching this episode after that period, you're still going to want to join the waitlist, and you can get your tickets at brendaturner.com/YT. This is my 5-day live experience. Everybody who comes to the challenge is taken through frame by frame, day by day, creating a YouTube video with my favorite frameworks to help you to break through your resistance, break through your fear, break through your hesitation, get all the foundations of YouTube all laid out so that you can actually do your life's work. And I'm super excited at this point in my life to really get everybody who wants to get to work. I'm really here for getting into action and helping you to really get past your fear and just start taking massive action. And if you want to learn all about how to be in the oneness and apply whatever spiritual principles you already are practicing in your life, whatever they may be, to actually just do your life's work in a way that feels effortless, you're going to want to check out this video where I cover that. And if it's not up there, it hasn't been posted yet. Thanks so much for hanging with me today, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.